One thing I love, Sean, about Las Vegas is this is seriously a dog-loving town. You know, I mean, this town is full of people who not only own dogs, have rescued dogs, are passionate about dogs and training dogs. And we have one of the most passionate joining us today from Camp Bow Wow in Summerlin. He's the owner, right, in fact.
Casey Gish, he's joining us now from Camp Bow Wow Summerlin. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys this morning? Good morning.
Doing so well. It's great to have you. Thank you for enlisting and for your service.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this. Halloween, obviously. It's probably, I mean, okay, so July 4th is probably the most dangerous Halloween, or the most dangerous holiday for dogs, because they all seem to run away. But Halloween's got to be a close second, because there's a lot of things these dogs can get into that can be kind of dangerous, can't they?
Yeah, that's correct. From candy, getting into candy, obviously chocolate is toxic for dogs. Please don't feed your dogs any Halloween candy. Give it all to the kids so they go nuts on a sugar trip, not the puppies. But there's also, I mean, unfortunate fact of life is that there's a lot of people out there that don't like dogs, and it's a perfect opportunity for them to toss some, poison candy or something over your fence, or let your dog out and run loose. And obviously we don't want that.
Oh, yeah, that is a really frightening scenario right there. My gosh. Hopefully there's no one that's that evil-minded out there this Halloween. Anyway, so we want to avoid these hazards during the holiday for our pets. I know that as I was walking my dog last night, I mentioned Sean, my neighbors have these amazing decorations. All of a sudden, we're walking by a house, my dog stops and starts backing up. And she was actually terrified by one of the decorations in the yard, but that's pretty common, huh?
It is. I was walking one of my dogs a couple of weeks ago too, and the neighbors across the street had a pretty elaborate setup in their front yard, and she was terrified. Also, one thing you got to watch out for is if you've never been around or dressed up around dogs on Halloween, they can actually be very frightened by anything covering a person's face, even if it's someone they know, because they can't see your body language. And also it just startles them. They're not sure quite what you are. And even at Camp Bow Wow Summerlin, where we have to wear masks now because of the pandemic, some of the dogs are actually frightened by that. And for our own safety, occasionally we have to pull the mask down, especially if it's a dog that hasn't seen us, because they've been locked in quarantine for months. They haven't seen us for a while. We actually have to pull the mask down momentarily so the dog can recognize us and realize that, we're not some crazy monster with something on its face coming at the dog.
I never knew that dogs were anti-maskers until today. Now we know. I didn't realize.
Oh my God.
They are.
Okay, so how do we straighten? Because obviously we have a lot of strangers. Some of us will still have people coming up to the door. A lot of strangers coming to the door. Your dog's freaking out. Like, why is the doorbell ringing every 4 seconds here? How do you handle your dog inside the house when that's happening constantly throughout the night?
So if you've got barkers that go off every time the doorbell rings, whether it's your actual doorbell or the doorbell on TV, that can get really annoying having them bark every time a trick-or-treater comes to the door. And so, we'd recommend that you put them in a crate if they've been crate trained, and just for their own safety, lock them up for the night until the trick-or-treaters start to thin out. And that's also a good idea too, if especially when you've got kids coming up in masks and costumes that might scare the dog. When you're opening and closing the door constantly, it's an opportunity for a dog to escape and take off and then get hit by a car. And that'll ruin your Halloween.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's best for everybody. It's one of those holidays where it's best if the dog, I don't crate train my dogs, Casey, but we do put them away in the master bedroom, and everyone's safer that way. So it's great.
That's a good idea.
Yes, you have a few tips. I will just say I'm not a big fan of putting clothes or costumes on pets.
Neither are the
dogs.
Not
a big fan of seeing people put their dogs in strollers when they don't need it, because frankly, dogs need exercise. These are a couple of my pet peeves personally, but you have some pet peeves when it comes to costumes.
I do. You want to make sure that it is a costume, preferably that's been designed or manufactured specifically for a dog, and it'll incorporate some safety features. And obviously, it's going to fit properly too, hopefully.
Yeah.
And like Callie's costume here, she's my little bomb sniffing dog, and she's not thrilled about it. But she's got a matching army vest on, a couple of hand grenades, but it does have an appropriate way to fasten underneath her, designed specifically for a dog. It doesn't have any, loose pieces that could fall off that she could then eat.
Speaking of that adorable dog, can you lift her up so we can get a look at her? Because she's a
Yes,
beautiful
I
dog,
can.
and Sean
Here
and
we
I
go.
gotta see her just before the segment.
All right, here we go.
All right, hold on.
Really quick look at the dog. Oh no, go ahead, go. We're going to get a quick look at the dog before we go here. By the way, if you want to see all these tips again, you can go to our website, LasVegasMorningBlend.com, and we promised you a dog. Here is a dog.
Yeah, we can't end this segment without that cute dog. Oh,
There we go, Callie. Hey, sweetie.
Beautiful rescue right there. Thank you so much. Take care, friend.